am going forward. Hello, good afternoon. My husband, my lovely mate, likes to live on the edge. And he cut it pretty close this time. He's usually makes a cup of coffee before I go live and goes in, but he just walked in the house from his flight. So anyway, you got a glimpse of him on camera, my handsome fellow. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Sorry for that long introduction. Good to see you. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. Today's topic, as the thumbnail suggests, is, what does it take to succeed? Well, there's not just one answer, what it takes to succeed. First of all, you got to lay off the carbs and lay off the excuses. That's it. So let me do as is my wont to do. That's a fancy way of saying something I usually do. Excuse me for adjusting my camera. Thank you, Cuckoo. Cuckoo's a little late. The ketogenic protocol is one whereby you reduce your carbohydrate intake to a point where your liver is not pumping out glucose for fuel. When the tap is turned off, for the most part, our bodies happily switch over to burning ketone bodies or fat for fuel. Distracted. And ketone bodies, hence ketogenic. We are burning fat for fuel. How do you do that? Pretty much for everybody, what will work is to keep your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day to total carbs, not net. Net carbs just means eating more carbs. If it's not on page 4, link below. Don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. You don't even need a food list, though. Fatty sources of protein, some non-starchy vegetables in limited quantities. Vegetables are not unlimited. And some full-fat dairy, if you like it and can tolerate it, in limited quantities. That's pretty much it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. So those are the nuts and bolts, you should pardon the expression, of the protocol. What does it take to succeed? And I actually will credit my lovely mate for this topic today. He suggested this morning that it takes a couple of things. And both of them can be challenging. The food is really simple. Meat, poultry, eggs, red meat, white meat, lamb. If it's an animal product, good. And limited amounts of vegetables, no fruit, no nuts, This is one reason page 4 is now copyrighted. There are a lot of bootleg copies out there that are just all over the place. Anywho, the food is straightforward and simple. This is not to say that the protocol is easy. It is as far as following the rules, as far as what the rules are, implementing them. And there are all sorts of things that can be challenging for us. Our family situation, our history with food relationships, being a people pleaser and not wanting to hurt someone's feelings if they say, but I made this pie for you. But, those kind of social things can be challenging. But when we get really into, forget about other people's input or pressure. I'm sorry if the chicken, I guess you can hear the chicken. I apologize. Oh, there she goes again. We just had one girl that was broody for weeks, and now she's not broody anymore, but now she's gone back to squawking. Anyway, having faith and following through. Now, that sounds weird, having faith and following through. The following through might speak for itself. You have to do it. You have to follow the protocol. As Dr. Eric Westman has said, I can promise you that it'll work. I just can't promise you'll do it. And that's the same in much of life, right? I mean, there's certain things in our lives that we really know in our heart work, and yet we sometimes don't do them. But the faith part, what am I talking about there? We have to overcome, for some of us, our entire lives' teachings, taught to us by other people. And some of us are second or third generation of having gotten very poor nutrition advice. We've gotten the antithesis of what good advice is for our bodies. I mean, think about it. Low fat. No es bueno. We need fat. Don't fear the fat. But we spent decades on low fat and we got fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. Okay. Hashtag Casey's pink drink. I get asked every time. Glass full of ice, mostly full of diet tonic water, and then a splash of cranberry. I usually have a wedge of lime, but we don't have any limes. Second week in a row. So we've been given poor advice. We have to overcome what we thought was right. We have to unlearn things beyond that. Just say, okay, I'm going to flip a switch and I'm going to do the opposite of everything, which is kind of what this is kind of the opposite diet. It's the opposite of everything that we've been taught. But there's that component, having faith in it, believing. You have to believe that it will work. If you go in thinking it's not going to work, no way. Or it might work for everyone, but it won't work for me because, and then you fill in the blank. It'll work for pretty much everyone because it's not magic. It's not a gimmick. It's not a trick. It's the way our bodies were designed to survive. Think of it. Over millennia, we grew, our generation over generation over generation. Our species grew taller, stronger, and lived longer. Barring, saber-toothed tiger attacks and things like that. Until recently, we are growing shorter, and our life expectancy is actually diminished. So for 70 million years, we ate the way we're supposed to eat. And for the last 60 years, we've been eating the opposite of the way we're supposed to eat. And, these two things have gone in, life expectancy, higher, down to lower, fitter, fatter. We have to have faith, and it's difficult. We've had our hearts broken before, romantically, whatever, but we've had our hearts broken for nutritionally. Some of us have never had an issue with food or weight or health, and that's great. So you're like a clean slate as far as trust. You can just do what you want to do. Muzzle tov. I was not that person. Most people are not that person. Most people, I am every person. I'm not unique. I am common. I had my heart broken. I tried for years. I can't share a screen here, but you can go to my blog and see photographs of my just move more, eat less. I did not know those photographs existed until I was sent by different parties after I'd lost some weight. So I just wanted you to see how far you've come, because I couldn't look at photographs of myself. But you can go. I really did. I tried the triathlons. I did all sorts of things. Had my heart broken. And I was hungry all the time. And then you throw in the towel. Well, see, sometimes what happens on this is because we don't believe necessarily that it will work. We have that doubt because we've been disappointed so many times. The first moment that we are disappointed in results, we say, get me some cheese doodles, because obviously this doesn't work. Now, this can be anything from unrealistic expectations. I am a normal, average loser, not a slow loser. I had a whole lot to lose, 97.4 pounds, 5 feet, 1 inches tall at 61 inches of height. And I'm actually 115 and a half pounds less than I was at the heaviest weight that I know of. That's a lot of weight per inch of vertical height. So I had a lot to lose. It's not like I just had 17 pounds to lose. The first year, I lost 47 pounds. So that's on average less than a pound a week. Yes, it's fun to see stories of I lost 62 pounds in 5 weeks. Great. That's not, those make the covers of the magazines. No one's putting my picture on the cover of a magazine for being normal, for being normal and average. So maybe that's the first little hurdle we have to get over, is not having unrealistic expectations. You're not going to be like the person on the front of the magazine necessarily. And also, it didn't take us 6 weeks to put on 106 pounds. It's not going to come off in 6 weeks. I'm always a little bit tickled by people. I hear from people say, I am desperate. I need to get this fat off of me now. And then they'll give a little backstory. I've been obese for 28 years, and I've been a size 24W for 25 of those years, but I am desperate right now. This needs to come off. Doesn't work that way. And if you've been away for 28 years, it's probably not going to change in 6 weeks. So correct expectations so that having unrealistic expectations do not damage our faith, our confidence in it. We can be confident that this works if followed correctly. This is not almond flour. This is not grams of protein, grams of fat, the M word. This is not time of day eating. Whatever works for you, great. Frankly, sometimes it is made more difficult for us if you listen to certain people so that they can try to explain it and make it simpler and sell you something in the meantime. If followed correctly, keep your carbohydrate intake 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Now, that takes relearning. Stop when you're satiated, not stop when you're stuffed. Stop when you're no longer hungry. That's it. It will work. We have to have confidence that it will work. We have to have realistic expectations. We have to have patience, for goodness sake. We have to realize that the scale, if it does not serve our purposes, needs to not be a part of our life. There are many, many other ways to measure whether we are succeeding. Our clothes are looser. Our joint pain has resolved. Our acid reflux is gone. We can make it through the afternoon without needing a nap. We can remember our own address. Brain fog. Yeesh. And people chalked up brain fog, particularly with women, to menopause. Oh, well, I was smart and then menopause. No, I was smart, and then after decades of being a sugar burner, my brain was just, I went to burning fat for fuel, and I got my brains back. So those are ways to measure. Another thing is weight will fluctuate. It did for me. I have a wonderful group of a few hundred people in a private support group at patreon.com. I do 20 videos a month. That's every weekday morning. I do pre-recorded videos. They're 10, 15, 20 minutes long. And I have started, it's become my practice every morning to say what the scale differential is from this time yesterday. So like yesterday, the scale differential was, the scale read, I think it was 0.3 of a pound less than it did the day before. And sometimes it's up and down. Weight fluctuates. Why do I share that? Because weight fluctuates. And I'm weight stable. Have been for 4.5 years. Weight will go up, it will go down. But if you have confidence and you're following the protocol, you don't chuck it aside. We don't, well, maybe we do. We do not enter committed relationships thinking that the minute we are committed and we move in together, we exchange vows, or we exchange rings, or we exchange keys, that we've made that commitment and it'll all be great. Well, it might be mostly great, but it's not all going to be great. There are going to be moments you just want to, punch each other right in the head. I've been married for nearly 41 years. It'll be 41 years in November. I'm going to guess by any measure, it's a very successful relationship. There have been moments. But you have to have confidence and commitment And you have to plow through those moments. So here's where the commitment comes in. The confidence and the faith is, yes, this works. It is not magic. It is not a trick. It is not a gimmick. It is simply the way our bodies were designed to process fuel. That's the faith. That's the confidence. The commitment means even when things get bumpy, you stick with it. Don't blame keto for what the cheat meal did. Don't blame keto for what the net carbs did. Don't blame keto for what the almond flour did. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. It will become a self-regulating thing. I apologize. I hit the microphone. Faith and follow through. And if you want to look at it as blind faith, look at it as blind faith. Sometimes we just have to have faith. Try to limit the noise that you hear. There's a lot of confusing information out there. There's a lot of self-serving information out there. There's a lot of BS out there. There's a lot of stuff designed to sell books, designed to sell supplements or bottled water. If you get something from that and it helps, wonderful. If you find that you're scratching your head saying, wait a minute, this guru said this and this guru said that, and they're not the same thing. You need to take stock. And then you have to ask yourself what their motivation is. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day. Total, not net. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it, but you don't even need a list of food. It's an animal product. It's Atkins induction. That's what it is. Faith and follow through. I've been asked, when did you know this was different? Because I tried almost everything. I never did Weight Watchers because I was not about to pay someone so that I could get on a scale in front of people. Heck no. But I tried just about everything else. When did I know it was different? About 6 weeks in. I knew something was really different because about 3 weeks in, my joints didn't hurt anymore. About 6 weeks in, I thought, I am really enjoying this and I am eating delicious food. I'm really happy with this. I'm eating the food that I deprived myself of for decades, or tried to deprive myself. It was wonderful. After that point, I had faith. I had confidence, and I stuck with it. I just did. Even when the scale fluctuated, which it did. It did day to day, week to week, month over month. Even the first several months, it would fluctuate. But I felt so much better. I had faith, and I followed through. And I've never looked back. Okay. I'm going to turn my gaze to the comments, and I appreciate everyone being here. Shameless Commerce Division. Some of these things you can see at my Teespring shop, low steel water bottle. Some you can see at my blog under the swag tab. Are you here out of hunger or out of habit? It's a magnet. Here's something my patrons are going to get, certain patrons. My girth does not define my worth, and I write little notes on the back. And lay off the carbs, lay off the excuses, little mug. And then this book you can get at Amazon, a couple of dollars cheaper, but it's perfect bound. This book you can get at my blog under swag. It's spiral bound. It's a journal. It's a little bit more expensive, and it'll take you longer to get because I'm not Amazon. And I want to thank the patrons. The 20 videos a month, the snippets we call them, depending on your pledge level, a handful of patron-only video live streams on Crowdcast, a handful of patron-only video group sessions on Zoom a month. And plus access to a secret, private, hidden patron, Go Keto with Casey Patreon-only Facebook group. So, Ingrid Morton, thank you for the super. No, thank you for joining. You're welcome to the Baconators. There's also a club here on YouTube. And I make I try to do it more, members only videos. And then I'll be putting out polls and things for the other members. Okay, so there we are. Just trying to earn my keep, guys. You don't have to buy one thing, not a journal, not a mug, not a oh, I'm stronger than a cookie t-shirt. Not a t-shirt, not a magnet, nothing to be 100% successful at this protocol. Nothing, and certainly no food products. Just eat real food. Now, let's see what you all have to say. And I just jump up in the middle. Oh, shoot, I always forget my mouse on the other side. That's okay. I can deal. Little crafty note. Yay, Karen. Okay, you guys are, okay, Judy Porterfield. Since keto, no GERD, no allergy issues, less joint and back pain, etc. This is the hidden story, is the medical, physical improvements in addition to weight loss. B grade, two ways it helps. One, insulin levels affect swelling and pain. Data show that even a 5% weight loss helps hip arthritic. Yes, any weight you can get off our joints makes sense, right? Gravity is less pull. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Ooh, I like that. That sounds biblical. Okay, my producer has walked in here with notes. My husband. Scrap and Alley writes, gastritis, do you think this will work for me? A lot of gastric issues resolve when you stop feeding our bodies glucose. I had chronic ulcerative colitis. Not that I've had an episode in 7.5 years. Yes. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, but IBS, acid reflux, bloating, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, a lot of good evidence that everything in the gastrointestinal tract from where we swallow to the other end improves. So yes, I think, and there's no downside. Marlon called una cubana. Marilyn, okay. Mi esposo dije que hay una cubana aquí. Bienvenidos. Marlon Caldenti says, I'm 10 weeks pregnant. I need to know, what do you think about keto in pregnancy? If I had it to do over again, I'm the mother of 3 grown children, I would have been keto. But here's what I suggest you do. On Diet Doctor, I think there is actually an article or a series of articles on pregnancy and keto. And another doctor, he's a Canadian, it'll come to me. His wife went through an entire pregnancy on keto, and the child has been keto. His name will come to me. It's escaping me right now. And Dr. Will Yancey, who is a colleague of Dr. Westman's, works with patients for PCOS, and when that's resolved, very often babies happen. And this is usually the ketogenic protocol. If I had it to do over again, for me, I absolutely would be. Babies are born in ketosis, by the way. They're burning fat for fuel like mad. Breast milk, full of, it's not full of steak and butter, but breast milk is very heavy in fat and protein. And this is why babies grow so quickly and their brains get so big. ¿Dónde está la cubana? Okay. Oh, that was her? Oh, Marlene una cubana. Okay, fantastic. Linda Floyd writes, it took me 18 months to lose 32 pounds. I'm 67. I found this program because I Googled anti-inflammation. And this is the thing. Just about everything other than like broken legs and stuff boils down to inflammation. Okay, so how are those two related? Insulin is inflammatory. It serves a purpose. Sometimes you want things a little bit on fire because they need to fight infection, etc. Too much. Glucose spurs an insulin response. So think of it this way. We want our bodies to have a little bit of inflammation handy, like a campfire. So it can, we can cook our bratwurst and keep warm. What we don't want is a forest fire. And that's what insulin resistance becomes. We are inflamed. Everything from joint pain to skin rashes to asthma to, gastrointestinal upset to migraine. Yes. So good for you. Scrap and Alley writes, thank you for answering my question. Thank you to my husband for bringing it to my attention. I'm starting today because gastritis is no joke. No, it's not. Judy Porterfield writes, Karen Kamosky, I'm totally there with you. Off Pepsid and midnight acid attacks that were horrible. I would bolt up right in the middle of the night, feeling like everything was going to come right out. It was burning. Haven't had that again. No weight loss past month, writes Karen. Eating keto ice cream most every night. I fell for the lie of thinking I could have my nightly treat. There's no such thing as keto ice cream. Okay, I did not. Okay, well, think of it this way. Heavy cream is limited to 2 tablespoons a day. Exactly how much ice cream are you going to make out of 2 tablespoons of cream? It is a lie. If a product has the word keto on the box, on the label, it's not. It's unregulated. They can say any daggum thing they want. I could bake chocolate chip cookies and use carob instead of milk chocolate and package them and call them Casey's Keto Cookies. And I'd be a jerk for doing that. Little crafty enough. Where are you from? Magic Mia? Kathy B. Hey, has anyone been on hormone blockers for breast cancer treatment and lost weight on keto? I just am at a standstill and can't lose any weight 4 weeks. There are many people in our group who have experienced cancers of different type. I've had cancer 3 times in my life. 2 of those were breast cancer once, and then 6 years ago it recurred. I never took the hormone blockers. Mine was not hormone receptive. So I cannot speak to that, but I was obese the whole time anyway. I wouldn't have known whether it was blocking weight loss or not. But others can help. There are a lot of medical people in our Patreon group. And, I'm not a medical person. I'm not a researcher, but I know people who are. And so it's always a good question it's always good to ask people who know what they're talking about. Dominica Cabaña, hello from Nueva York. And I don't know the answer to the question, Kathy, but a lot of us will default towards, well, I don't know that I can do this because, and it often comes down to a medical situation or medicines. I have no gallbladder. That's okay. I'm not talking about me. I mean, these are, can I do this if I don't have a gallbladder? Yes. Can I do this if I am hypothyroid? Yes. Can I do this if I'm hyperthyroid? Yes. Can I do this if I have Hashimoto's thyroid? Yes. Can I do this if I have no thyroid? Yes. Can I do this if I've had a hysterectomy? Will it be effective? I've had a hysterectomy. I'm postmenopausal. I had a hysterectomy when I was 30. I have been this. I'm in my 60s. I'm short. I had acid reflux. I had ulcerative colitis. I had chronic depression. What else did I have? I kind of had one of a lot of stuff. But let's not anticipate. Here's where the faith comes in. It's not going to hurt. Going absolute prescription strength keto, as Dr. Westman calls it, not messing around with the net carbs, not messing around with the cheat meals, not messing around with carb cycling, not messing around with almond flours and fake baked goods. Prescription strength. It's not going to hurt anything. And it might actually help. But I will warn you, the hardest part is don't eat if you're not hungry. Magic Mia writes, I have been the same weight for years after I started having kids. So let's see, 28 years, up 25 pounds, then down 25. So frustrating that I have high cortisol. Weight is not coming off now, 52 years old. Okay, honey lamb. I put on 60 pounds with our second child. I was 25. Put on 60 pounds, never lost it, went up from there. Had a third child. I was very obese when I got pregnant. I was so obese, people didn't realize I was pregnant. That's how obese I was. I'm 60. How old am I, guys? 63. Thank you. 63. I started this when I was 55. So I got all over you. Don't even come here. And cortisol, yes, cortisol stresses you out. So what's the best thing to do is chill. Have some faith. Step away from the glowing screens. Step away from the YouTube videos, including mine. Step away from the pictures of food and the Facebook groups, including mine. Live your life. Quit thinking about food. Food is fuel. Love is love. Food is not love. Love is love. Food is not entertainment. It is not sport. And it will not get you, it's not comfort. For those of us who have issues with food, it's torture. And I'm going to cut you no slack, because there are people in this group who are in their 60s and their 70s. They've been obese since they were 20. Faith and follow through. Okay, Judy Tucker has lost 130 pounds. She's a farmer. I can contribute to almost 4 years keto and had everything wrong in my body and never felt better in my life, and will be 69 years young. I have followed Casey this whole journey, and Dr. Westman. She was on a magazine cover with Dr. Westman. Casey writes, losing excess fat gives you confidence and a smile that is genuine, not a fake smile, right? And Magic Mia writes, thank you 100%. You are welcome 100%. Judy Tucker, such a delight. I still don't know how she's a patron. Several patrons are here. I don't know how she functioned as a farmer in Iowa with cattle and all the other things that come along at 130 pounds heavier. Paula Price can now close the gas cap on my car without the help of a wrench type contraption. I needed because of the pain was so bad. These are things you get used to something like that, right? Oh, I can't do it. On a video group session we had a couple of nights ago, one of the patrons said, I just got to share this. Her cat, Ruthie, had knocked one of her little play balls, her little lighted up balls, and knocked it under the sofa and was crying to get the little paw back. And so this patron said, I just have to share this with you. Without thinking, she says, I got on the floor, bent over, grabbed the thing, and got back up. She said, I couldn't have done that before. You forget what you can't do, and then you forget that you used to be able to do it. And then one day you can do it, like crossing your legs. I said, man, if my cat had knocked a toy under the sofa and really wanted it, I would have gotten in the car and gone and bought a new one before I would have tried to get on the floor. And Judy writes, Casey, I don't either. She doesn't know how she did it at 130 pounds. All right, friends, thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. Try not to get confused. Have faith. Follow through. It's one decision, one moment, one mouthful, 1 hour at a time. If you have to set a timer for yourself and say, and I always look at my stupid smartwatch, in 15 minutes, I may eat something or other. I might eat the so-called keto ice cream, but right now I'm not going to. And then set another 15-minute timer. If I can do this, which is on the back of my mug, if I can do this, you can do this. Find out the reason that you're wanting to feel better. Hopefully you're not wanting to feel better so that you can watch more videos about food. Who knows what life will bring us? Let's be our best when it shows up. Thanks, guys. God willing and the creek don't rise. I will see you next week.